After obtaining my 123rd Platinum trophy, a close friend convinced me to share my Platinum experiences with the world. So join me as I Platinum Mouse PI for Hire, developed by Fumi Games, a Polish-based studio most famously known for, well, Mouse PI for Hire. Features a first-person shooting experience set in the 1930s, but in a world where anthropomorphic mice, like Mickey Mouse, run the world.
Mouse!
And due to its charming art style, I had to give this one a try. Now, personally, I'm not much of an FPS kind of guy. Since owning a PlayStation 5, I've only played one single-player FPS, Deathloop, which, coincidentally, I played due to its amazing art style. And to be honest, this game delivered where it needed to. It didn't blow my mind or reset my brain chemistry, but it was very fun. And of course, it's worth sharing my Platinum experience. So get comfy, grab a snack, and enjoy my latest Platinum experience. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to it. It helps boost it into the algorithm, and then my channel can continue to grow, which makes me feel kind of good. Also, it makes me motivated to make bigger and better Platinum videos. But that's all. Let's get down to the video. Prior to receiving my game, Mouse PI for Hire had an egregious amount of missable trophies, but I'm playing the game after it received its 1.2.1 patch, which included level revisit, in other words, chapter select. This would be crucial for my enjoyment of the game, as I prefer to play games naturally before referring to guides for any missables. However, being good would also be crucial to my enjoyment. And like I said, I don't play FPS games, so to say I was bad at the start was an understatement. Fortunately, this game had more to offer than just shooting, like picking locks, but even that proved to be difficult for me. What? No! Thankfully, the first level was fairly easy and short, so after a little more shooting, the level ended and I was introduced to Jack Pepper, the main character, before immediately transitioning into the next chapter. Now, I've heard that it can be kind of confusing knowing where to go in this game, but I hardly struggled with this because I was already scanning everything in my vicinity for collectibles. And this game would have a lot of them. 214 collectibles broken down into the following categories: 38 newspapers, 41 baseball cards, 29 comics, 10 figurines, 81 schematics, and 15 optional clues. Now, some, not all, of these collectibles were required to obtain 9 collectible trophies. I didn't have to collect the figurines or all of the schematics, but most of them would be required for one of the other trophies, so scouring the levels I went. And if I ended up missing any collectibles or a decent amount of schematics, then it was back to the level for cleanup, since I didn't want to spend a full gaming session doing all of them at once. Anyways, back to the game. After making my way to an open roadway, I managed to kill 3 enemies with 1 explosive, granting me my first trophy, Holy Trinity. Oh yeah, come here. Bang! The Holy Trinity! And since I had already glanced at the trophy guide, I knew killing enemies with explosives would net me another trophy. So after a few more purposeful explosive kills, I earned Boom Town. Oh shoot! What is that for? Is that for doing the 20? Let's go! But I wasn't just fiddling around and killing rats. There was a story, a purpose behind these kills. The lead, Jack Pepper, was trying to find his former warmate, Steve Bandle, who suddenly went missing after a magician show. And thanks to the top half of Miss Betty Doe Fiddle,
Oh, God.
there was a new location to check, the Opera. And honestly, there wasn't much here. A few spiders capturing their prey,
Whoa!
some more shootouts, and my first boss fight against Prima Donna.
Jeez, take it down a notch.
That was magnificent.
But this wasn't a perfect run, so I went back collecting any comics and cards that I could find, which helped me net a few more trophies. The first for finding 5 comic books. Oh! Wait, what the heck? And the next for finding 5 baseball cards. Woo! With a few more collectibles still missing in this mission, I just couldn't up and leave like I was Jonathan Kent. I hate that scene. So I continued on with the mission replay, and in the final moments, I showed off my efficient killing skills. thought it'd be good. Oh, what was that? What did I get a trophy for? Kill 5 enemies in 10 seconds? Let's go. I'm efficient. Prior to jumping into the next chapter, which involved casing out Steve Bandle's laboratory, I purchased one newspaper from the local paperboy, notching me my 5th of its kind and another trophy. What's up, boy? Bam! Bandle's laboratory proved to be the most challenging level yet, and not just for its difficulty, but I had to stomach the most gruesome weapon in the game.
Motherfucker, this is an acid gun.
You're sick.
But yes, it was here I came across the whatchamacallit 001. Yes, it's actually called that. And I suffered my first defeat from a boss. Fuck! This boss is actually very easy, but I suffered from what my wife calls hubby vision. And if I would have looked a little harder, I would have noticed that I could easily evade these death-inducing lasers by using this helpful piece of glass.
Oh, I see.
With this knowledge at the helm, I easily took out the boss before taking out 2 more bosses, both substantially easier than the first.
There we go.
After finishing the level, I ended up buying a few missed collectibles from the local gun shop, because I was not doing that level again.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
When another trophy popped for obtaining 10 newspapers.
Bam. Is that 5 newspapers? 10. Oh, shoot.
And since I was in such a buying mood, I ended up upgrading my Meiser pistol to level 3, which triggered another trophy.
Bang. My very first maxed out gun.
Now, just because I was trying to find a missing war buddy didn't mean that other crimes weren't afoot. So in the midst of tracking Steve Bandle, I was given another task looking into missing shrews, tiny mole-like mammals that live alongside the mice in this universe. Looking into these disappearances meant going into the roughest part of town, Clergy Row.
Badges.
Oh my god.
But holy moly, they work more like mobsters.
Jesus Christ, they beating the shit out of that person.
It also meant becoming acquainted with my biggest nemesis in the game, the train.
Did I get hit by a train?
Despite getting mollywopped by Thomas the Tank Engine, I carried on with my mission, killing more enemies and obtaining more collectibles.
Comic book. Let's go. Oh, what? Extremely graphic novel.
By the way, I found it hilarious there was a trophy called Extremely Graphic Novel when Mafia 2 made me collect literal Playboy magazines.
But hey, yo!
Yo! However, don't be fooled, because this game was graphic. Hilariously graphic.
Hi, bitch. Oh my god, he had a hole in his chest.
Despite the comedic elements clouding my focus, I was able to fight my way through dozens of dirty police, who were behind the missing shrews.
Help! Police!
And that news was just too much to bear, so I decided to clear my head playing a little baseball, which required 30 wins to obtain the most tedious trophy in the game, Saul in the Cards. Now this game is very RNG dependent, but it's actually super easy. And after winning my first game, I earned another trophy. Bang! I'd continue dabbling into this game between missions so I could slowly work towards the vaunted 30 wins. But it was time to continue with the search for the missing shrews. While in the city's underbelly, I ended up finding a few more collectibles, notching another trophy.
A card. Babe got bat. You know that dude was drunk hitting dingers. Insanity.
And eventually, I came across King K. Rool. Okay, not really. However, Vic Gator was pretty tough. I mean, he was so skilled, he was shooting me without even pointing his gun at me.
Oh, whoa, what? He wasn't even looking at me.
I went into the next attempt with a much more aggressive approach and ended up taking care of him extremely fast.
There we go.
This brought me to Cheeseburger Foreman, who revealed that the shoes were tucked away in Wallop Bay, a whole different area.
One step forward
So I made mincemeat of the remaining enemies so efficiently that I obtained monster kill.
God, I didn't even finish the episode. Oh, what was that? Whoa, what is this? 10 enemies in 20 seconds. Let's go.
And with the blood of a million rats at my feet, it was time to pursue Wallop Bay and the missing shrews. But not before being introduced to Vivian McCarthy.
My whole life is changed since you came in. I knew back then.
She comes distressed about the death of her friend, Betty Lynch, and wants us to solve the mystery. So not only was I trying to find Steve Bandel, but I was also looking for the missing shrews and the culprit behind Betty Lynch's death.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa!
That's too damn bad!
Betty Lynch's missions would be my favorite of the bunch, since they took place on movie sets, and the set pieces were awesome. But other than that, it was a bunch of the same. So after mauling down some more rats, I found the information I needed to share with Vivian. And then it dawned on me. This level featured a lot of environmental kill opportunities at the beginning of the level. So after doing my usual cleanup, I tried crushing and exploding as many enemies as I could until I was rewarded for my efforts.
Yeah, there we go. That was quick as hell. Bang! That was right after the other one. Let's freaking go.
A little bit of detective work and baseball games later, and I finally found myself at Wallop Bay. And what better way to enter the bay than by walloping a fish?
Yeah, let's go.
Anyways, back to the shrews. So they weren't at Wallop Bay, but I found out that Cop of the Year, Captain Sims, was in cahoots with the dirty police. So it was back to square one.
One step forward and two steps back.
Before heading out for more detective work, I needed to close the book on some side missions, which triggered another trophy after finishing my 5th.
Yeah, Jack.
Boom! Is that 5? Is that 5 mini?
Back on the list was Vivian's investigation. So I took off for Miles Kurd's mansion. And if you're wondering who Miles is, he's friends with the guy who we suspect killed Betty. His mansion hosted a crabby caretaker, battles with ghosts, and his daughter, and ended with a tragic reveal.
Miles Kurd is dead.
Oh.
Repeat, Miles Kurd is dead.
With his key witness dead, Jack Pepper took the now orphaned daughter, Millie, back into town, and a pin was placed in the investigation so I could get back on the Shrews case. And this case gets crazy. I'm talking about cults entering the fray, crooked cops taking to fights on the bayou. It was nuts.
You bitch.
Oh, they're oh.
Persistent bastard.
The worst part though was that it seemed like no progress was being made.
Two steps back.
But the only option I had was to push forward, so I did, painstakingly shooting through more and more rats to find any semblance of progress, whether that was in the underground city of the Shrews or the whimsical carnival. Plus, I hadn't gotten a new trophy in a couple days. Everything was at a standstill, so I decided to change that. After playing a few games of baseball, I earned enough coins to purchase the revered ray gun.
Give me the ray gun. Give me the ray gun! Let's go!
And after that, it was like something finally clicked. Because then, everything started to fall into place. For one, I found the Shrews.
Finally!
And they gave me what I needed to corner those behind this darn case.
Hey, let's fucking go! Yes, we finally... Well, we didn't finish the case, I don't think, but... We got all the clues. That's our first one, I think, that we've done.
But then, I unfortunately got caught slipping.
There was like some Nazi. There was like a Nazi rat, bro. Y'all ain't gonna believe me.
What the? Hey, yo! What the fuck? Hey! Hey! Kill that guy! I just saw it was on his arm.
So I got a trophy for punching a Nazi.
Continuing with the Shrew case, I found myself in Mouseburg's quagmire.
He's Quagmire, Quagmire.
where I ended up fighting more weirdos from that creepy cult. The enemies reminded me of the cult of the tree, and the house presented puzzles and weird teleportation gimmicks that rivaled anything that Control and Alan Wake 2 had to offer. Despite featuring ghosts, this game was pretty grounded. But at this point, the game was going from crazy to completely wacky. The Quagmire provided more context on where the dirty cops were sending the shrews, but before going there, I had a date with a cop of the year, Captain Sims. After successfully sending his own men to their demise, the captain decided to meet them in Hades, thanks to the fleet of turrets that were conveniently placed on the boat.
Damn.
That's for the shrews, ass-face.
The captain's demise meant that the shrew shortage case came to a close, and that also meant that I earned another trophy.
I'll need more proof to be sure.
Bang!
There was still the issue with where the shrews were going and why, but at least the leader gathering the shrews was done for. Next, my sets were set on Betty Lynch's murderer, and after running through the western sets of Tinseltown, okay, that sounded awfully innocent. Murdering my way through the western sets of Tinseltown, Jack Pepper put together that the murderer was Vivian.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh yeah!
But before any arrests were made, Vivian escaped.
Damn, that fine woman.
And Jack was left to continue his investigations to put the remaining cases to bed, which led to an unexpected turn of events. Despite being your average level, I'm talking shooting every living thing that appeared on my screen, grabbing whatever collectibles I could find, obtaining new guns, although I really only stuck to the shotgun and James gun, this level brought some crazy revelations. For one, the kidnapped shrews were being turned to ink to power a portal to the unknown.
What?
And then I ended up taking that portal, finish it Elsa, which eventually took me to hell.
There is your hell mattress. There is your hell toilet.
But it was through all this rigmarole that I finally, after over 15 hours, found Steve Flippin' Bandle. And after slaying his boss fight with ease, oh no, only the hearts stay? Hey, I thought they were going away. I found out that Steve, who assisted with the ink extraction, was a little over his head and ran for the heavens as soon as things turned bleak. And despite being a bastard, Jack's words, not mine, Steve wasn't the real culprit. It was an evil professor, the BMP, and Milford Sawyer, the guy I was chasing at the very start of the game. Even though no real progress was made towards finding our actual culprits, it felt amazing to finally put the chase for Steve Bandle to rest. And what followed would be a flurry of good fortune, in terms of progress and PNGs. Despite avoiding arrest, Vivian still had the greatest private investigator hot on her trail, and pursuing Vivian started a domino effect of rewards that I didn't see coming. Because about 15 hours in, I still needed 15 trophies, platinum included, and within the next 5 hours, I would be done with the platinum. So it was off to the final movie sets in Tinseltown, which brought a breath of the freshest air you could think of. Whoa! Despite the beautifully colored area, most of the gunfights were in the usual black and white format. Regardless, this level was incredible because of the amazing classical music.
This is a cool level. And the music's so good. I love the organ.
The beautiful tunes mixed with the engaging boss fights were enough to make any classical music fan say,
That was magnificent.
Every element of this mission was carefully curated to give it a true sense of finality. And after taking out my second boss, Reginald Shingler,
I got freaking cheese, bitch.
all that was left was apprehending Vivian. However, things didn't go as planned.
Bam! Burdens of Blue Betty.
With all the clues in the Blue Betty case secured, I pinned them onto the board, putting an end to this case for good.
Feels like the pieces.
Bang!
With Betty's case over, it was time to put an end to the missing magician's case, Now, I had already found Steve Bandel, but there was still some business to settle with his accomplice, the Nutty Professor. Not that guy, the Nutty Professor! Who, unlike the other bosses to this point, required me to build my own diving suit with the help of Jack's favorite person, Tammy Tumbler. As you'd expect, the Professor himself wasn't a challenge, but the incredible amount of tech he threw at me provided to be a challenge in itself. But I have to admit, the Professor did give me the creeps. Oh my god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! The Professor's death provided me with my final clue in the missing magician's case, guaranteeing another trophy. Oh my god, that was freaky as hell. And with all the clues at my disposal, that meant that this case, like Blue Betty's, came to a close.
The picture's starting to form.
During my last mission, I had completed 2 more side missions, both of which being the last that the game had to offer. And after closing out the first of the 2, I was rewarded a baseball card, which completed the entire set and popped another trophy.
Sheesh.
What?
Everybody's a detective.
These are haters. Oh, is that the last baseball card?
And then, with the final side mission closed out, I was rewarded another trophy.
And yet you keep.
Hey, the real deal comes true. Is that all the side quests? Bam, baby.
At this moment, I had reached the point of no return, but I wasn't quite ready yet. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to visit the area after the fact, so with every baseball card at my disposal, I decided to play the baseball game until I won 30 times. Let's go. Oh, that's a homer.
Oh, help me.
And after putting up one Jacob Mizorowski impersonation after the other, I notched 30 wins and put the most tedious trophy to bed.
Hey, that's 30 freaking wins. Oh my god, I thought I had one more to go. Let's go, man.
Speaking of which, it was time for Jack Pepper to finally get some rest as well. The start of the point of no return would trigger the final clue trophy, so who done it?
Oh, let's go.
Unfortunately, things weren't as sunshiny and rainbowy for Jack Pepper, whose apartment was set on fire, along with the rest of town. If I had a nickel for every time this year that my main character woke up from their home being lit on fire, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. With the help of our loyal friend John Brown, I escaped to the sewer before reconvening with the trusty Wanda Fuller. And it was here that Steve Bandel, with his magical prowess, revealed that he had hidden a revealing admission of guilt from Milford Sawyer, but it was tucked away in Steve Bandel's mansion, which was home to some very interesting devices.
Whoa, portable freezer.
You go full time freeze.
Bang, that's all the guns.
With the help of the newly equipped freeze gun, I once again made mincemeat of the competition and quickly found the legendary tape.
Milford Sawyer.
Since I had obtained every weapon in the game and had a heavy supply of schematics, I decided to fully upgrade the newly acquired portable freezer, thus maxing out every weapon in the game.
Thank you, ma'am. Bang! Literally bang! Well, bang, okay. Wait, whoa, what the fuck kind of sus-ass trophy name is that?
All that was left was to expose his admission of guilt to the world, so I set off for the World's Fair, where plenty of powerful mice would be in attendance, and leave it up to the remaining trophies to remind me that this crazy story was coming to an end, as I quickly received a trophy for obtaining the final comic book strip.
Yes! All the comics are done. That was fast.
Which was immediately followed up with another trophy for learning the final skill.
All abilities unlocked, baby.
A few gunfights and platforming sections later, and the final newspaper was upon me.
Bang! Extra, read all about. Damn it!
I celebrated finding all collectibles by blasting Milford's admission to the masses, which sent the disgraced mogul into a frenzy that was the final mission. And oddly enough, the first 10 minutes was the exact mission I completed at the start of the game, and with the game's story beats fresh in my mind, I was hoping the same would be true for Jack Pepper. Again? You're falling again? Fortunately, Tammy, the greatest side character in the game, saved my sorry butt, and the new content was finally upon me. But I didn't receive the new content that well. Come on! Whoa, whoa, what the fuck was that? Are you kidding me? I just got fucking trucked by something. Oh my god, I gotta redo that whole thing again. With hindsight guiding me towards the finish line, I made easy work of the dreaded plane portion on my third attempt and entered one last battle against Milford Sawyer.
This is it. The end of the line.
Despite most of the boss battles being relatively easy, Milford's fight took me by surprise. Most of it wasn't even fighting the old man, it was taking out his creepy speakers and avoiding plenty of lasers. And honestly, this was too much to bear on my first attempt. Oh my god, dude, I'm dead! What? With an understanding of how the fight would go, I decided to take things slower, let the game come to me, and honestly, it made the fight much easier on my second attempt. There we go.
Alright, this is it.
A few knuckle sandwiches later, and my Mouse PI for Hire experience finally came to an end. Let's go!
Wild ride, huh? John is safe. Tammy made it through.
Bang! The Platinum Falcon is complete. Well, well, well. With the Platinum Falcon obtained, Platinum 133, Mouse PI for Hire, done, baby! I guess, I don't know, I wanted to make a new sound. I try to make a different sound every time, but it's usually just the same one. I hope you're cool with that one. Well, there you have it. Mouse PI for Hire. A game that met all my expectations, but genuinely surprised me with its character performances and wacky animations. Also, the lack of difficulty surprised me. Now, I was playing the game on standard, so that may have been why. But for the platinum difficulty, I have to give this one a 3 out of 10. Even on standard difficulty, I expected this game to give me hell since the last game I played that carried this art style did just that. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Fumi Games for developing Mouse PI for Hire. I adore this art style, and I'm so happy that more developers have been adopting it over the years, adding it to several different genres. And a big shout out to you as well. Thank you so much for watching this far into the video. Your continued support motivates me to continue making them. And like I said before, I have a lot more videos planned, so stay tuned. But until then, take care.